We're live.
That was pretty fast. Usually takes a little time.
So I wanted to say good morning. Good morning.
We don't do that here.
Good morning.
Let's say hi to the initial supporters. You
Hi.
have nothing to do this morning. You have nothing to do this morning. You definitely have nothing to do this morning. I thought you had something to do this morning.
Nothing going on with any of these people. Just like us. Good morning.
Nothing doing this morning. I'm trying to think. I'm in like a recovery from the auction because did the auction Saturday, boxed up records Sunday, finished mailing them off to, yesterday. Well, I have one more to go this morning, but it's already done. But then I had, it's good that Nick Rudeau is here. Nick Rudeau, it's good that you're here. Because when more people come, I have an amendment to the Boomer Scalper. There's a new Boomer Scalper story.
What?
Well, there's a sequel. At the beginning of the sequel, I guess it hasn't taken a turn yet.
All right.
Is anyone who's watching right now does not know the origin of the Boomer Scalper?
There might be one or two.
If someone comments that they do not know how the Boomer Scalper came to be,
just give the short version.
No. Well, no. I won't tell it if everyone knows it. But if there's some people that don't know the Boomer Scalper story,
nothing has ever stopped me from telling the same story twice to the same
right.
people.
Well, I like to think I edit myself a little bit. It's a great story, and Nick Rudeau is the reason it sort of happened.
Really? Now I got it.
So it's ironic that he decided to start commenting this morning. Scotty, you do not know the Boomer Scalper story?
Neither does Chris. Neither does DJ. What's his name?
Revs per minute. You don't know the origin of the Boomer Scalper story. Okay, here it goes. So I walk into a thrift store. Exactly like that. And I find it's actually a second thrift store from the main thrift store where they kind of deem an item's very high end. So they put it in this other store. So
Can I interrupt for 1 second? We're not getting the short version of this, are we?
I have 2 hours to fill, and if you're leaving early and I need to.
All right, never mind. Go on.
Story. It doesn't deserve to be bastardized. This is a good story. So I walk into a thrift store this high end, and there's a shelf mainly with books. They really very rarely have records in there. And I pull off something, and it's a sealed record. I can tell it's a record right away. And it's thick, and it kind of, to me, the cover art, it looks like it might be a video game soundtrack. That's initially my thought. But at the time, I did all my tricks. I even used Google image search to find it, and I could not find it on the internet. Couldn't find it anywhere. But I knew it was something, and I bought it for $12 in this high-end place. So I take it home, and I guess I kind of put it out there. Does anyone know where I can find out information about video game soundtracks? I think that's what I said. I don't know where I did it. Did I do it on Facebook or did it on Instagram? The first person that responds to me is Nick Rudeau, and he says, I belong to a Facebook group called, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. I belong to a Facebook group called Video Game Vinyl Collectors. I think that's what it's called.
All right.
Yes. So he tells me it, and I click to join, and they let me join, and I make my first post. And I post a picture and say, hey, does anyone know what this is? I don't. From the minute I posted it, people started attacking me. They started going, you're just here to sell us. You're a Boomer Scalper. There were lots of comments, but someone called me a Boomer Scalper.
Which is so fucking true.
Right, and people were attacking me. So what do you think I did?
You adopted the name Boomer Scalper.
No, I attacked people for attacking me.
Oh, you went back. Yeah, you went after
And nowhere in any of the attacks was violence or anything, but the moderator, the guy who got into it with me, was probably tight with the moderator, and they kicked me out of the group right away.
Wow.
But it was going on that Nick Rudeau was sending me screenshots of them attacking me. Like, they were attacking me. So it went on. And then I did some heavy internet searches, and I found a post on Twitter or X or whatever. At the time, it was Twitter, that had the cover, and it had it open where there was like a credit sheet and stuff. So I determined it was a video game soundtrack. I forget it for what exact video game, but it was like, if Nick Rudeau remembers, maybe mention that. But so it wasn't on Discogs. So I took the time and entered that fucker into Discogs. And I determined that I think it was given out as a promo. Like, it was given out as a promo. So there weren't a lot made. And it was 2 LPs, and I wanted to keep it sealed. That was another thing in the Boomer Scalper, in that thread. They said, open it up. And I said, I would never buy a sealed record. That was a big thing they were saying too. So it was like a Call of Duty, one of the Call of Duties maybe, soundtrack that they gave out as a promo. So I created a Discogs entry, and I priced it like $1,000. And then I put it on eBay too. And I put best offer too on both to determine a price for it. And then in the Discogs listing, those people in the Boomer Scalper started attacking me in the Discord. In the comments, they were attacking me. This is a fake record. They were claiming it was a fake record. And they were doing all this. And they tried to get it taken down, the Discogs listing. And I appealed it and successfully appealed it. They made me take away something from the images because I didn't open it. So I took the image of the inner stuff from Twitter. They made me get rid of that. But you know what they did? They banned 4 of the attackers of the people.
Nice.
They banned them. They lost their Discogs account, which I can't imagine is an easy thing to do. And then I ended up selling the record for $700. I think on eBay, because someone gave me an offer.
To one of those fucking assholes, probably.
No, but here's the funny thing. Nick, the punchline to this whole Boomer Scalper, well, the punchline is I appropriated the name. I actually, during the attacks on my channel, you can go back and look, I made a video creating the character of the Boomer Scalper. And they saw that video too. I know they saw the video of it. And the punchline is the guy went to this forum and posted the record after he bought it.
That's
okay.
awesome.
So here's the sequel. So I go into a real record store and I find this in the soundtrack section.
Oh,
this record right here. And I think it's another promo for a video game soundtrack. It's Prime original soundtrack for a video game. It's 3 LPs. They're all different color, blue, yellow, and red. So there were only 2 pressings of this. One in black vinyl, which is the rarer, the more desirable. And this one, the colored one. Came out in 2018. And I found this for not a lot of money. But this sucker goes for $250 to $400. This one. And the black one goes for more. So you know what a good Boomer Scalper does? I cleaned it, made it nice, and I'm selling it.
Very nice.
So
would you put up
hopefully
Dan
I won't
B's
be.
comment? This is
Huh?
disturbing.
Whose
Dan B.
comment?
Yeah, Dan B.
Listen, you putz. They were calling me. Have you ever been around any millennials or younger or whatever else they're called? They don't know how to use the word boomer. It's anyone who they deem is old is called
Anyone
a
over
boomer.
30 or 35
Yeah,
is a boomer.
you're the only thing hip about you, Dan B, is probably you need a new hip. Okay. So that's well, I'll let you know how this Boomer Scalper part of the story progresses.
Well, I just think that's fantastic with the video game soundtracks.
I mean, I go around the store and look and try and find stuff that I determine, might be a good thing. My belief is this: every record store you go into, there's a mispriced record. It's up to you to know enough to find it. Yeah, right. Elliot, I got you. Let me figure this out. Do you have an exciting story as me? Jim.
You're talking to me. I'm sorry. I don't. I got nothing. I'm in the midst of stereo disease.
No, you're not in the midst. You're going. Your setup is never good enough for you.
No.
And it changes. It literally changes daily. Literally.
This is true. And so I sold Rob my wonderful Harbeth P3 ESR little speakers, and he needed them, and I didn't need them at the time. And but I felt there was a hole in my heart, so I'm replacing them, and they're coming today.
It's not like I held a knife to his throat to get.
No, I made you buy them. I sold them to you, but then I had seller's remorse, and
you have remorse about everything.
I do.
Your attitude towards life is like a food court at a mall. You go to the food court, you get something, and you automatically regret getting that.
That I didn't get that over there?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I have gear acquisition syndrome, gas. I have gas as well. I'm a little gassy. But yeah, so I've got P3SR showing up today. Very excited about that.
Every time I go over Jim's house, he changes the setup. His setup is completely different.
I change it to the record that I'm playing. So if I'm playing,
you've changed it position in the room. You've changed it. You swap out pieces.
Yeah.
Dudley Cruz.
It's not good. It started when I was a kid, my bar mitzvah stereo. Hey, Elliot.
Hey, Jim.
I replaced the speaker cable in my bar mitzvah stereo and noticed an improvement. And ever since then, it's been terrible. It's been like a quest.
I mean, Jim's helped me put together quite a nice little system. So
there are a lot of screws in the Harbeths. There's a lot of fucking screws.
I don't touch any of the things except to dust it off.
Yeah. I actually once tightened them. But, yeah. Morning, Elliot. What's happening?
Oh, it's all quiet here after, you go through, it's like war. You go through short periods of total chaos followed by long periods of sheer boredom. So life as usual. Yeah.
With all the frickin' animals that I have, it's total chaos a couple of times a day. Brief. Yeah. But a couple of times a day. Yeah, it's too much.
So what did you do over the weekend, Elliot?
Let's see. My wife took a fall Friday morning early. Oh. So we spent Friday, all day Friday at the ER. and came home, no broken bones. So, life is good. And then Saturday I did something, I know we're not going to discuss here, but involving, holding up signs and things like that.
Yeah, Jim did that.
Yeah, I saw.
I
I
did
saw
something
Jim.
stupid. I did something stupid.
What'd you do, Jim?
I don't control I don't really do a good job of my social media. And I posted a picture of a little video of myself at the thing on Saturday
I saw that.
to my record collector news
Instagram
and Facebook. I didn't realize I was posting it to there. And I don't like putting political shit on that site.
Right.
Be that as it may, all of a sudden, I'm picking up all these subscriptions from all over the place. What the fuck is going on? Why did I get 5 new subscriptions this weekend? Because of that video. So
okay, that's good.
I'll pimp myself out for subscriptions.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
I just posted a couple of pictures on Instagram from Saturday, and I figure I've probably alienated about 3/4 of the people around me now by doing so. But
they'll come
do
back.
what you got to do sometimes.
Once they realize you're so cool. Now I did not have a sign, but I had a cowbell. Bang, 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 bang. And not one person out of thousands, not one came up to me and said, "More cowbell."
Yeah, because they were all over 100 years old, right?
Well, then they would have seen the Saturday Night Live from 100 years ago. It's the millennials and whatever that never saw it with
you would think they would make connections.
What is it?
Or they may have felt like it was too cliche to say anything. It would be uncool.
Kill the Reaper. Come on, baby. Now, I mentioned it to a guy standing next to me. I turned to him and said, "Why is no one yelling at me saying more cowbell?" And he looked at me and he said, "I was considering it, but I thought better."
Yeah, so, I think that's probably what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have been too intimidating. He said I was pretty good on that cowbell, which,
I think that was a pickup line.
Cowboys and cowbells and wood blocks, they're underappreciated in the world of music, I believe.
No.
Okay, we're going to get back to music.
Appreciated properly.
As a kid, my uncle was a drummer. And on Wednesdays, he used to take me over to a house in Encino where there would be a jam session with the Tonight Show Orchestra every Wednesday night. And I'm there looking at all these guys, Conti Condola, all these guys. And a guy hands me claves or whatever. And he goes, "Do this, shave, hair, cut, 10 cents. Shave, hair, cut, 10 cents. And I've been doing that ever since.
There you go.
He does it. You do it in the shower, right?
Shave, hair, cut, 10 cents.
I think Sam Clayton does a really good job with percussion, and he does the wood block sometimes with little feet.
I love that.
And I think even when Lowell George was still living, I think he had a wood block. He would play and just pause his playing sometime and play the wood block, if I'm not mistaken.
So Lowell played with Zappa. He played guitar for Zappa for a little while. Yeah. Frank fired him for drugs.
And the story that's probably been overtold about Zappa hearing him play Willing and saying, you're fired. Now go out and form your own band, with the idea being that song was so good, you need to, become your own,
right. But also he didn't want to drug you. But also he didn't want anyone doing drugs around his band.
I remember that as well. I think a lot of them were secretly doing it, weren't they? And so some were more secretive than others.
I have a Little Feat CD, kind of a bootleg thing. It's a live performance. And Lowell George, and the intro to Willing, he says, Frank Zappa fired me for writing this song about drugs. And then he goes into it and they do a killer fucking version of it. and Lowell George was dead of an overdose 6 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long was he with Zappa?
Not long, like less than a year. He
Zappa was the rock and roll version of Bill Monroe, in that so many people went through his band, but nobody really, not a lot of them only were there for a few months or a short period of time. I think that's the story of Bill Monroe. So many people can say, yes, I was once a bluegrass boy, because he'd have a West Coast tour and somebody, would quit to go back to school or something. He'd hire somebody on the West Coast to play during that West Coast tour. And then, they would drop off to the side, and then he'd hire somebody else. And everybody wanted to be a part of the band, but he paid so poorly, right. that you couldn't sustain it for very long. You could only
Frank paid, but he brought people up.
Sam Ra was like that. He ran his deal
so was what's his name? The drummer, the jazz guy, Jazz Messengers.
Max Roach.
Yeah.
Roach. Art Blakey.
Art Blakey. Everyone came through him.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
The story of Adrian Belew, how he transferred from Zappa to Bowie.
Oh, this is story number 10.
If everyone's heard it, I'll tell it again anyway.
Please.
So
I don't know it.
They're in Berlin. Zappa is playing in Berlin, and Brian Eno sees the show, and he tells Bowie, "Fucking hey, you got to see this guitar player." So Bowie shows up, and Eno and Bowie are standing at the mixing thing. In the middle of the concert, Frank does a long solo, and it's okay for Adrian Belew to leave the stage for 10 minutes, go have a cigarette, whatever. So Adrian Belew sees Bowie and Eno, and he goes up to them at the mixing board, and Bowie says right there, "I want to hire you. I want you to be my guitar player." And he says, "I work for Frank." And Bowie says, "This tour is over in 6 weeks. I've got a tour in about 4 months, gives us plenty of time to rehearse. Let's go to dinner tonight." So Adrian Belew says, okay. So without talking to Frank about it, Adrian Belew is given instructions: go down the elevator, blah, blah, blah. There'll be a limousine, and that's where you'll find Bowie, and you guys will go to dinner. Adrian Belew hops in the limo. Bowie says, "I got a place in Berlin nobody knows about. It's awesome. You're going to love it." They go to this restaurant, and Zappa and the entire band are there. And Bowie walks in with Adrian Belew, and he walks up to Frank, and he goes, "Hell of a guitar player you've got here, Frank." And Frank goes, "Fuck you, Captain Tom." And he goes, "Well, blah, 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 blah." And he goes, "Fuck you, Captain Tom." He made him from a major to a captain, I guess. And for the next 6 weeks, they gave Adrian Belew a hard time because they knew he was going to the Bowie band after this. And they changed the lyrics to the song Yo Mama from "Maybe You Should Stay With Your Mama, She Could Do Your Laundry and Cook For You" to "Maybe You Should Stay With Your Bowie." And they gave him a hard time about that. But he went on to Bowie and did a great fucking job.
How long after that did he join King Crimson?
I don't, he was with Frank for less than a year. And in that time, he toured, he did a movie, he did all this shit.
Was he like 18 years old or like?
Frank picked him up in a bar in Nashville. He was playing in a bar in Nashville. Frank said, "Come out and rehearse." He got on the plane to Hollywood to go, not rehearse, to do the job interview. It was the first time he'd been on an airplane. Adrian Belew. Never been on a plane before. Never left fucking town. So he went from...
Where was he originally from?
I think Nashville.
Are you sure Nashville? I want to say he...
It might have been Memphis or something like that. It was the Midwest. It was
from North Carolina or something?
It's the South. He's from... Anyway, so Frank picked him up.
One of the oddest coincidence for band members, or, where they end up, where they live, and things like that, is probably, to me, is Ed King, who was with Strawberry Alarm Clock. And after Strawberry Alarm Clock had their run in the mid 60s, 66, 67, and there, of all places, Ed King ends up in Wilson, North Carolina. And it wasn't because he was chasing a girl. That's usually how do you end up somewhere. It's because there's some girl and you go into where she is. It wasn't because there's some I don't think anybody's ever explained how he ended up in Wilson, North Carolina, which is a small tobacco town in eastern North Carolina. There is a college there. It used to be called Atlantic Christian College. Now it's called Barton. And there were some guys that went to school there that had a farmhouse, and they played music. And somehow he ended up living at this farmhouse for a while. And meanwhile, he had been to Atlanta and seen Lynyrd Skynyrd, early Lynyrd Skynyrd, before their fame. And when they needed, and he had made contact with them, and he was playing in a cover band in eastern North Carolina, Wilson, Greenville, Goldsboro area, which is, just
right.
backside of beyond. And he was playing in a club. Somehow Ronnie Van Zant called around. This is, at this period, early 70s, you didn't just have somebody's cell number or whatever. Called around and randomly called a club in Greenville, where East Carolina is, so a college town. And he was playing in a cover band at this bar in Greenville. And he gets them on the phone. He says, I need you down here. You're in the band now. I need you down here, tomorrow. And he's like, I don't even have a car, man. I can't, I don't have any money. I don't have a car. I'm playing in a cover band. He said, but it was a really good cover band. He said, I'm playing in a cover band in a college town here in North Carolina. Well, he sent him money, and he got somebody to drive him down to Jacksonville. And that's how he becomes a member of Lynyrd Skynyrd. But, it's just, how does a California, psychedelic rock guy end up there, and ultimately ends up in Jacksonville with Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Rock and roll, man. Rock and roll. Rolling and rocking and acting obscene. That's what it is. It's all about. Rock and roll is a euphemism for doing the dirty, making the beast with two backs.
Isn't everything?
Yeah.
So is jazz, basically, right?
People are talking about Trombone Shorty.
He's cool.
I kind of believe, Elliot, when was the last time you went to a college basketball game?
A couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Now, I'd say within the last 20 years, college basketball, the type of band that most schools put together is sort of a type of Trombone Shorty situation where they're doing kind of modern songs in that style. The VCU, we have a band called the Peppas, and there's lots of good.
Called the what? Called the what?
Peppas. Peppas. I like the way Peppas. And you can go watch videos of them. And whenever we had success, and they did the A10 tournament in Brooklyn, they get it. One of the boosters would get a bus, and it'd be wrapped in VCU stuff, and they drive it near the Today Show, and they would come out, and they would be on the Today Show. But
cool.
But that style, it's like Trombone Shorty music. Most colleges have that. It's like a scaled down version. It's like a jazz band or something.
Little jazz band. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I love that.
I remember when my daughter was senior in high school, and she was applying to different schools. She auditioned at Campbell, but Campbell University is like 4 miles from our house. Oh. So her high school was Harnett Central, and so people that end up going to Campbell they refer to as doing their 13th year at Harnett Central, because you're not going off to college or anything. So she wasn't really inclined to do it, and plus it's a private school, so very, very expensive. And they were going to offer her some scholarship money to be in the music department there. She was a violinist, and the money wasn't enough to equate to the same cost as a public university. Much cheaper at a public university, but it was close.
How big is Campbell?
Do what?
How big is Campbell? How many students?
It's probably 8,000 maybe, but not all of them are on campus.
They have Division I basketball, I think, right?
And Division I football, the playoff division of football.
Yeah.
Same one Lehman Mary's in.
The one my nephew won a national championship in that.
Right.
Yeah, I never went to college, so I feel kind of bad right now.
No, don't. But she had, one of the ways they were going to supplement her, reduce the cost a little bit, was they told her she could play in the pep band. Now, she was a violinist, and a violinist isn't going to play in the pep band like you were talking about. But they said, "Oh, you're musical. You can play something. We'll give you an instrument. You can fake your way through in the pep band." But
North Carolina's not putting out their own high school musicians that they need to switch people over. I don't know what marching band. I don't know what jazz band type of thing lends itself to switching from a violin.
Yeah, but one of the things that frustrates me is that somebody that's a musician, that's a true musician that understands music theory and everything, they can pick up all kinds of instruments that seem so foreign to what their normal instrument is, and they can do a competent job playing it without that much effort. So, they put her on the clarinet. Here's C and D and G on the clarinet. Here, you can do this little song, whatever.
I was in the William Howard Taft High School marching band, one 4th of July parade, where I had to dress in a wool marching band thing. It was 107 degrees on the 4th of July. But I got to learn the snare part to Hogan's Heroes. But that was it, man. I quit after that one march because it was not cool. I was
stay away from dinner theater with was it Richard Crane? Was that his name?
Yeah.
What was it, Rob? What was the Hogan's Heroes star? Richard Crane?
Bob Crane.
Bob Crane.
Did he wind up getting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He spent the rest of his career doing dinner theater, touring the country, and sleeping with everything that could move, I understand, into some pretty kinky stuff, and ended up getting him killed, it sounds like.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah. That was
I went to a record show, not Sunday, but Sunday before last, and picked up some interesting things and met some interesting people.
That's nice.
Met a guy. There's the guy behind me selling, and I just know most of the people selling are real outgoing, and we talk and laugh and we're real friendly to each other. But this guy was he had his computer and he had his phone and he was all set up. He wasn't paying any attention to his table hardly. He just had his head in his computer doing work and everything. And I thought, that guy sure does seem antisocial. I mean, how are you going to sell records if you're antisocial? But about halfway through the show, things had slowed down a little bit, and I turned around and said, I hadn't introduced myself, and I did so, and he introduced himself, and it turned out to be a really nice guy. We had an interesting conversation, but it turned out he worked for.
He was your son-in-law.
Yeah, he works for Sundays Records. the reissue label.
Right.
And I talked to him a lot and learned a lot about what it takes. And Rob, you've touched on this. You've got a friend that works in the reissue business too. What it takes to get something reissued these days, and how they find them, and the red tape they end up having to go through. I'm not going to talk about all of that, but I thought it was interesting. And he said it's changed a lot in the last 10 or 15 years as the big three record companies have gotten where they want, they're hoarding what they've got.
They're keeping everything in house.
They're doing the reissues themselves.
And they make the licensing fees impossible for small labels to make any kind of money doing it. So
right. He said they're limited to 500 a run.
Yeah, but if it sells like the Velvet Underground box that was out of print for a while, they repressed it. So, and they have a lot of Sun Ra records, and I've had Sunday stuff. It's good.
I'm going to show you some then, Rob.
You bought from him?
No, I'll show you what I bought. The only thing I bought from him per se was he was just selling his personal records, some of his personal records. He wasn't selling for Sundays. But I got this Tom Waits from him.
Great record.
This The Hard Saturday Night. And,
I have that one. That's good.
And it's an OG. It's an OG pressing. The jacket's not in the best shape in the world, but it plays, really nice. But I was trying to think of one of the other. Oh, he said sometimes the big labels say they own the rights to something, but if you press them on it, they can't find the contracts. Uh-huh. They've lost the paperwork, and so they really don't have claim to it. And that's the one. And if they don't, who does the rights to the master tapes go to? The artist. Because, what can you prove? Well, you can prove that's me playing, this is my session. So that's one way they sometimes get some of the stuff that the labels are reluctant to release. They want to keep in-house, but they never end up releasing them. Push comes to shove, they, is kind of show me that you've got the rights to this. And sometimes they can't. So that's how they get some of the stuff. But I went to the site, the Sundays records. Now, here's another interesting thing. They were originally in New York, I believe.
They're not anymore?
They relocated to Nashville.
Oh.
But Nashville got too expensive. And now they're in Hillsborough, North Carolina.
Shit. I still have the New York address.
There's a big I think a record distributor in North Carolina.
Red Dog or something like that.
I don't know. I think they handle a lot of.
Do you know that guy's name?
Yeah,
Elliot. Do you know?
I don't know his last name. Jay.
What was his first name?
Jay.
Oh,
the letter J. Jay. But he said Sunday's record label got smaller as far as number of people, because they've been bought a couple of times, and now they're down to just a handful of people because when they get bought, part of the duties go to whoever bought them.
A lot of these smaller reissue labels are very minimum amount of people there.
Yeah, I think he said it was down to about 2 people that are actually Sundays, and the other people that handle like some of the customer service and things like that are kind of a combination of several labels. Mm-hmm. But they so he ended up in Hillsborough because the cost of just office space in Nashville had gotten so high.
Right.
And Yep, you're familiar with Yep Rock Records, I'm sure, the independent record label.
No.
Yep Rock's got a wide variety of music, various from rock and roll to bluegrass to all kinds of music on Yep Rock. And the Blasters guys, the Alvin brothers, one of the brothers is on Yep Rock, for instance. I don't remember it's Dave or what's the other brother's name? Alvin? No.
Alvin.
Theodore.
Well, anyway, one of them's on it. Nick Lowe's on Yep Rock. But anyway, at the place where Yep Rock is located, in that same building is also,
Wait, how far is this place in North Carolina from Nashville?
From Nashville?
Yeah.
Oh, what's Nashville, like 200 miles from Raleigh?
Oh, I'm just wondering why they would move from Nashville to North Carolina. Has nothing to do with proximity to Nashville then.
No.
No, I think the move was an economic move. Why?
No, I understand. Why?
Yeah.
Why there? It would seem like
And not anywhere else.
You're sharing space.
I know. I understand it's cheaper, but it doesn't give them any proximity to any reason for being in Nashville.
The distributor for Sundays is there in Hillsborough.
Okay.
They were originally not in Manhattan. They were in Coxsackle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Coxsackle, New York. Coxsackle, New York. So they weren't in Manhattan. They were in the middle of nowhere in New York. Those guys were very nice to me. When I had my 10th anniversary of Record Collector News, they sent me a plaque commemorating 10 years. It was very nice. It was very, very, guy by the name of Tim.
Well, this guy, I think the original guy, and then this guy, and maybe there's one or two others still there. But when they got bought down a couple of times, a lot of the responsibilities for different duties were shared by multiple labels rather than just Sunday. So it makes it more economical. But I went to the website earlier this week or last week, and they had a special where that was called the tote bag, Sunday's tote bag special.
Yeah.
You get a free tote bag, and you get, for $60, you can pick 5 records from. They had about 140 different records you could pick from.
Well, they're doing it this week they're doing it this week with Sun Ra.
Yeah. Well, let me show you what I got. I ordered 6 because it's basically they're selling you the records for $12 each and throwing in a tote bag, so you could get more than 5. And here's what I ended up getting. There's Nico.
Nice.
Post Velvet Underground. Bo Diddley is a Lover.
Did they come fast to you because they're in North Carolina?
Yes. I ordered it like on Thursday, and they were here Saturday because they're 40 miles from my house. You speaking of Sun Ra, they have lots of Sun Ra.
I like to see you dance into that record.
Ra to the rescue. And if you ordered the Sun Ra, you got a poster.
Yeah, I got that. I don't know if I'd call that a poster, though. I thought it would be bigger than that.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. It's free. Kentucky Colonels, 1966, Clarence and Roland White. And some of these technically aren't Sundays. Some of them are, but Modern Harmonic, I think, is another one of. They got different names.
Yeah, they mostly put like jazz stuff on that.
This is Prime Movers Blues Band. This is the first recordings of Iggy Pop. He was in the band. And what was Iggy Pop from Detroit? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
So this was a Detroit blues band. basically. And, in LA there where Rob is and Jim is, they used to have a TV show called Town Hall Party. And a lot of artists went through there, did the shows, a TV show out of LA. And I got Merle Travis live at Town Hall Party, 1958, 1959.
Wow.
So that was, that's like $82 there, 6 records. But the funny thing was they forgot to send me the tote bag. So,
bastards.
I know it. I'm going to have to send them a little email and say, you forgot something. See if they'll send it to me. Not that I really care about having the tote bag.
I have a tote bag collection.
So you just, and what was Todd Rundgren's band? Naz? Does that sound right?
Yeah, he had a band called Naz. Yes.
Down at the other end of the show, at the record show, a guy that was a member of Naz was down there selling records. I didn't know him, but somebody just mentioned it. Somebody bought a Todd Rundgren record for me, and they said, that guy down there at the end, he was in Naz back many, many years ago, obviously. But so I didn't run down there. Hey, you were in a famous band, or anything like that.
You were famous once. Hey, Rob, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why is your auction crawling along the bottom?
Well, there you go. Because I left it on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for mentioning it, people.
I've been meaning to say
something
something for a while now.
Well, thanks for saying something.
I ended up with just
right. Hey, Elliot.
Nice.
Yeah.
We just sold your town hall party record. So can you put it in the mail?
Okay. All right. Look, Basement Tapes. I got this for next to nothing. This is an OG copy of the Basement Tapes. It's that coupled, what do they call it? Coupled sides, where you got 1 and 4 on one record and 2 and 3 on the other. But this is OG pressing, 1975. I got it for next to nothing. I can't remember where I got it, but this thing plays. If I was on Discogs, if somebody else was on Discogs selling records, they list this as near mint vinyl. I call it VG plus, but it's they list it as near mint. It plays beautifully, but I was shocked to end up with that. Listen to it yesterday. It's a Terre Haute pressing from June of '75, so that makes it an OG. And I got it listed for $28. I'm going to sell it. I already have a copy of this. I was going to sell this for $28, which means I'll take 23 or 24, something like that, for it at the record show. If you go out there and aren't foolish enough just to pay list price.
You like doing those shows, huh?
They're a lot of fun. I like them for the social aspects of it as much as anything. It's not like I'm making a lot of money on them.
Here in
I'll
LA,
probably
man,
take home. Yeah, I take home $350, $400 a show usually. But when you start subtracting all your costs,
how many hours?
I'm not making. Usually, they usually run 10 to 4 or 12 to 5 around here. And but like the one I just came back from, it started at 10 and was supposed to run till 4. By at 10 o'clock, it was dead. At 11 o'clock, it was going hard. But by 1 o'clock, it was the only people in there looking at records were people that had already been in there for a couple of hours. They were just continuing to look. So for the last, from 1 o'clock on, it was just all the different vendors walking around buying records from each other, buying and selling records to each other. And by 3 o'clock, we had all packed up and headed home, even though it was supposed to go till 4. It was dead at 1 o'clock. It had been raining all day. It was a rainy day, so I'm sure that discouraged people. Then that was a show in Raleigh. So big city, so you expect a big crowd, but I found that really doesn't necessarily mean that.
No, there's lame, but people know there's lame shows here in LA, or what they call shows. Like there was one this past weekend in the Arts District. That show's always kind of lame to me. And there's hard to park. Can't even park around there. So,
well, my next show is in Carborough, which is usually a good show. I might sell 40 records or more at Carborough if it's a good day. Carborough, Chapel Hill, they're two towns, side by side. So you're basically talking about your UNC Chapel Hill crowd, a different clientele of buyers than the Raleigh show, even though they're only 20 minutes apart.
hey,
but it's
Chris Record Talk. I'm sure everywhere you show up, people are gone. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, you got to go ahead and get there, because we're not going to sit there all day if nobody's going to come in and buy. But
no,
Carborough, I expect to be a good show. But the problem with Carborough is it's not hard to find parking, but to load and unload your records, it is a pain in the butt, because there's limited space to park on the road, beside the road, at the curb. To unload, only 2 or 3 cars can get in there at a time, and otherwise you've got to either park somewhere and push your records way up a hill, or you've got to park about 3 blocks away and roll them in. With a dolly.
How do you bring your records in?
I got a dolly. I got a dolly, but I've got it so it's flat. I can put 4 boxes on it at a time.
So how long does it take you to load in your stuff?
Well, it just depends on how close I am to it. If I can park at the curb right there.
How much do you bring with you?
I normally bring 10 to 12 boxes. There's 8-foot tables at Carborough, I believe, so I'll bring 12 boxes. I'll bring 4 boxes of rock records, and then 2 boxes of folk, bluegrass, etc., 2 boxes of jazz, and a box that's got R&B and blues, and another one that's got country and Americana. That's usually what I carry. And when it's an 8-foot table, I've got a box of soundtracks I can bring, and classical and comedy, stuff like that. I'll bring a box of that sort of stuff as well. But people are looking for whatever you didn't bring that show.
Of course.
People are all buying soundtracks one week, and you go to another show and nobody has the least bit of interest in soundtracks.
I think generally people don't have interest in soundtracks.
But I've had a run where I sold in Durham. I sold a ton of soundtracks one year, and comedy records. Nobody buys comedy records.
No, I'd say those soundtracks. It depends. Usually, I'll pick up the ones that major, like Herbie Hancock, but the ones I think you could always do well was in the Italian dude, Ennio Morricone.
Right.
Yeah, I had one of his out soundtracks. I sold it for like $60.
Bernard Herrmann used to be hot. I don't know if he still is.
I'll tell you, if you can get a copy of Shaft in Africa soundtrack, that goes for good money.
Yeah, well, all those blaxploitation soundtracks are good. I would pick those up. Or
there's so many Shaft.
What I've been picking up is like straight to video movies from the 80s soundtracks. Those tend to have desirability to them, but
I want to get Yeah. What's the Judd Law movie? Coal Mountain soundtrack.
Well, they did.
What?
Yeah, they did different versions of that on vinyl that have.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's the Coal Mountain soundtrack's very expensive and hard to find. I got it on my want list, but I'm not paying what people are asking for it now.
So I got to bail, everybody. I'll see you Thursday.
All right, leave me alone with Elliot. It could be a challenge for me.
Yeah,
take care.
No, it's torture. You're going to torture Rob now.
I'm doing my best. I picked up some records. Let me show some records I got. Let's see what I got. The video game soundtrack. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. We'll talk about this first. So if anyone knows Chris Watkin Brown, him and this other gentleman started this reissue label called Gamont. That's how I'm pronouncing it, Gamont. And this is their first record they've reissued, this Pepper Adams Quintet jazz record that was originally on Mode. But this, I mean, they did a kick-ass job with this. Again, a lot of people picked it up because he did a good job of, has a great channel, well-respected, especially in jazz, people who collect jazz. But to say this rivals like they did it in Tone Poet style, is I think they went beyond this reissue. So they had it pressed at Gotta Groove Records, which they do a lot of Real Gone. I think they do all Real Gone.
Yeah.
So, and they do a really good job. So they had kind of the old Mode label with their logo on the bottom there. And so it was a choice. And they're about to announce another title for the spring, I think. This particular album, I think, came out in mono, but it was also recorded in stereo. And actually, this is like a tip-on jacket, but in here, they said a press release thing there. But in here, the booklet's attached inside the cover, and it's more like a book. And from reading the liner notes in this booklet, and the pictures in here are crazy good. Like, I don't know how much you could tell they did a lot of work. That's kind of cool right there. But the pictures, and there's some illustrations too. Now, I don't know if they found these illustrations or had them done. But yeah, it is gorgeous. So just off the bat, from this cover and booklet, it's like crazy how much detail they did to this. So getting back, the album's a short album. It's like a 30-minute album. So they chose to do it at 45 speed. So it's one disc at 45. And it sounds crazy good. Bernie Grumman did the mastering. It's really good. But I might have had this album once before. Who's on here? And then that's who's on it with them: Pepper Adams, Stu Williamson, Carl Perkins, Leroy Vinegar, and Mel Lewis on drums. But this is very impressive. Very impressive. They did, and you can currently order it on their website. I don't know if they have sent it out to stores to sell. So a lot of people have done videos on this. So I'm showing it here. And I'm going to write a blurb on it for Record Collector News, because this is very impressive. This is the way I wish most reissues are done. This is the way they should be done.
Now, you said it's not Real Gone, right?
No, it's a new label they started. Come on, I'll find the link and post it.
But it's the same pressing company that does the Real Gone records.
Yeah, who pressed the record?
Yeah, I've been real pleased with the stuff I've had from, as far as pressing quality, from the stuff I've had from that pressing plant.
Yeah, I mean, a real gun uses them. There's another label. I think they might be part owners of another label that does some reissues of some rare, like jazz stuff. But their stuff is good. Warner Brothers Studios is for sale. Danby, that's not breaking news.
I
And
don't
it's
have the money
different
right.
from. Yeah, it's not breaking news. They're trying to sell.
Yeah. Everything's breaking news nowadays.
No, it's breaking news when someone hears it, but it's been talked about. I don't think it's at stores. It's limited release. Before the end of the show, I'm going to post a link. Okay, I found this isn't an OG copy, but this Mingus at Monterey, which originally he put out himself, and the only way you could get it was through mail order. In 1965, I think it had a white cover this was in yellow, but this he made a deal with Fantasy Records to distribute it in the later 60s, and it comes with this little, I guess, press note. So this was in here by Mingus. It's printed. He didn't autograph it, but that's kind of cool. But it was reissued for Record Store Day last year. But this has the original Mingus labels, Deep Groove. Really cool. So that was a cool pickup. And I've had this before, but not. I think it's hard to find it with the little press release thing. And there's one with a color photo in the gatefold, but mine doesn't have it. So that was cool. All right. Next, I have a copy of this. This Chico Hamilton Quintet with strings attached. He did, I think, a couple albums for Warner Brothers. The reason these are desirable to pick up is a very young Eric Dolphy is featured on both the albums. And basically, to me, it's like an Eric Dolphy album. So if you ever see this record, pick it up. If you like Eric Dolphy, it's really good. And this old Deep Groove Warner Brothers labels are kind of cool. The gold label. Here's one I don't know if you've ever seen. Elliot, are you a big Kool and the Gang fan?
I like Kool and the Gang. I've never seen that out.
This is before they were pop. This is like when they were just like a funk band from the 70s on Delight Records. It's pretty desirable because they had that Hollywood Swingers album.
Well, what I always remember about Kool and the Gang was we had this when we were not 16 yet, when we were like 8th graders, we would go to that's beautiful label jacket. We would go to the local pool hall, which we referred to as the rec center, but it was really just a pool hall. Guy was won't get into all that, but we would go on Friday and Saturday nights to the pool hall and play pool, play air hockey, play foosball. And it was, the hangout place. And the girls we were all like 13, 14, 15 years old. And, of course, there'd be girls there. And we were all excited because the girls were there. And we had a jukebox. And when the girls started, once the first girl goes, I got to go use the phone and call my daddy to get him to come pick me up. I've got to be home by, 9:30 or whatever. We knew that would start a chain reaction of girls getting one of their parents to pick them up, So before that first girl would go, wait a minute, stay a little bit longer. And we would take up a collection for the jukebox, and we would go throw in all our nickels and dimes and quarters in there, and we would play Kool and the Gang Jungle Boogie because the girls loved Jungle Boogie. And we would play that song repeatedly, and the girls would say, well, I can't leave now, and they would stick around a little bit longer. So I have fond memories of Kool and the Gang.
Yes. I don't have as long of a story. when Jungle Boogie was playing.
That's it.
But that's
That's it. It's like
that's what that jungle jazz
uh-huh.
is supposed to be. That's not the song, is it?
Jungle
think-
Boogie. Get down. Get down. Jungle Boogie.
Yeah. But I think jungle, I don't know. This is like their
Maybe it's derived from that.
Okay, that's not. You were blocked. Bum, 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 bum. There you go. There you go. He, dude.
You're cut. I'm trying out this new wireless AT&T again before I carry it back.
Is
internet
T-Mobile good in where you live?
Is what?
T-Mobile good where you live?
No. They advertise all the time, but I've never tried them.
That's
AT&T.
what I have. That's what I have for my internet, and I'm more than happy with it. The T-Mobile.
Well, you're cutting out real bad. It was going really good for the first 45 minutes or so, but it seems to be cutting out a lot now. So if I'm have a blank glaze over my eyes, it's because I'm not hearing what you're saying. But
okay,
I have a jazz record I'll show you, Rob. You might be interested in.
All right, I'll go back to showing my records in a second. What do you got, Elliot?
Yeah, I just show you this one. This is the Kansas City Six with Lester Young.
Mm-hmm.
And what this is the 1944 recordings in New York. It's he and Bill Coleman, Dickie Wells, Joe Buskin, and John Simmons, and Joe Jones from March 28th, 1944. This is the complete session. So what you've got is 3 different versions of different songs, or 3 little words. There's 3 versions of it. JoJo, there's at least 4 versions of it, but it's not too, you think, oh, well, it's the same song played twice in a row and then again on the second side or whatever. But really when you're confined to that 3-minute session or 3-minute recording each time, it's kind of a continuation of it. So they get to do a different solo, in its place and everything. But this is really good. I especially like the 4 o'clock drag, which is very blues based on here. And they do the Gershwin's I Got Rhythm on here a couple of times. Some of these were released, and of course some of them were outtakes and were never released as 78s. But it's on Commodore label. And this is a reissue.
Those are like 70s reissues.
Yeah, this is reissued in 1980. That's right. But it's a nice look at Lester Young. Now, a few months later, now he was with the Count Basie Orchestra during this time, and I think they would, when they were not on tour with the Count, they would often play as a quintet or whatever, and thus the Kansas City Six, and they would record in those configurations. But a few months later, he would be forced into the service, and I'm sure you know the story, and a lot of people know the story. When Lester Young was not made for military service. He
was a heavy alcoholic, Elliot.
But before this, when he went into the service, it really, when he came out, it had broken him. His mental strength was drained, and yes, then he really became a heavy alcoholic. But he was never the same. I'll put it this way: he was never the same after he went into the service. And this is the last recordings of him prior to going into the service. So, it's kind of the last look at him at his best, I'd say.
Well, thank you for showing that, Ellen.
You're welcome.
I have some other records I picked up. This record, if people don't know, if you find this, grab it, because basically this is a late 60s reissue of Brilliant Corners on these Riverside labels, I guess from the late 60s. But this sounds excellent. It's stereo. I know there's a difference between never mind, it's another Monk record. But this is really good. It's probably cheap, very cheap way to get a really excellent version of Brilliant Corners, which was reissued. I heard those one steps that Kraft puts out, people had issues with that. I don't know if anyone owns it, but I enjoyed this a lot. And then I found this record, Perfect Percussion. These guys, Roy Hart, I'm going to say, and Milt Holland, they're percussionists. I think they mainly did soundtracks for TV and movies, but this is sort of a exotica jazz record because they're playing so much weird percussion. But the backing band are the Monk brothers. Montgomery brothers. Buddy, Monk, and Wes. They're the backing band on here. So that's kind of cool. I think featured is Buddy Montgomery, who plays the vibes. But this is not a hugely desirable record, but people look for this one. And they play all different sorts. I guess they list all the different types, 114 different types of percussion. And this is a World Pacific jazz record. So it's kind of cool. But I would call it more exotica music. He played on Little Feat Records later.
Cool.
Yeah, this is a cool record. And then what's another record I found is this Jeremy Stig, who I've not gotten into. He's a jazz flutist, and this was his introductory record on Columbia. Nice 2i. So I picked this up. I have not listened to it yet. So those are the records I found. Hold on. Yeah, I think you would like it, Bill. It's a good record, but you can stream it. But this reissue of it is outstanding. Pretty impressive. It's a lot of percussion, yes. Yeah, basically it's Master Sounds. Because I think Master Sounds was on Pacific Jazz, World Pacific. I've never seen it either. You know what was a weird thing to me? I think one of the last Van Halen tours, Kool and the Gang opened up for them. That was kind of weird for me to see. But I think they might have played together back in the day. Hold on one second. Any new album video with Grant in the future? This Thursday. It's not a new album. We do this No Skips Records, where we each pick 2 records we feel that you won't skip any of the songs. Thursday night on Grant's channel. I do that with him. I don't know about that. Scotty, I don't know. I don't know that was a thing.
And it was Lester Young was also known as the Prez, wasn't he?
That was his name.
P-R-E-Z.
I don't know where you get the Miss thing from, Scotty.
Well, Scotty knows his stuff, so he may be.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
seemed like a weird joke. And he wore the pork pie hat. Well, how is it true? What's the full story? Why he's called Miss Thing? Besides obvious assumptions. Oh, here's another record I picked up. and I just cleaned it, but I've not listened to it yet. No, like the Three Sounds put out a kabillion records for Blue Note. This is live at the Lighthouse. Really nice, very clean pressing of it, Van Gelder. So I've not listened to this yet.
I've never heard of the Three Sounds. What are they?
Oh, they were like the main sellers for Blue Note. They're a trio of Gene Harris. Here's the back of it. I'll show you. It was Gene Harris, Andrew Simpkins, Andy Simpkins, and Donald Bailey on drums. They were a trio.
Organist.
No, keyboard.
I just can't get into jazz organ.
You would like them, Elliot. And they were big.
I don't like jazz organ there. I really don't.
Okay, let me finish talking, Elliot, and then you can respond. It says on here he plays organ, but generally it's not. It's a jazz trio, piano, bass, and drums. They were big sellers for Blue Note. They have 2 albums that are really popular, but their albums are pretty affordable. They don't get crazy expensive. So I think you would like them. But he generally that's the first album. That's the first album I've seen that he plays, and it says piano and organ. But that's the first album I've seen him play organ on. So I also picked this up. I found the Vinyl Me Please reissue of the Madlib Shades of Blue, and this is basically an album that Blue Note gave him access to all these songs, and he did hip hop remixes. This is a really good album. It kind of comes off like late night radio because he does these great remixes with these Blue Note songs, and in between he has actual Blue Note artists give shout outs on the album. So, and I think there were a bunch of these reissues that came out at the same time. These are like blue and green colored vinyl. But this was the 20th anniversary. I think it came out in 2003 originally. So I enjoyed that. A lot of people have talked about the album, and I finally grabbed it. So yeah, it's a Blue Note classic. Yeah, I recommend getting it. It's really good. Okay, now back to Scotty's called him Prez. Yep. And okay, but you didn't go back to Miss Thing. I don't know the Miss Thing thing.
And I think Lester and Billie Holiday had a special relationship. I understand.
You know who Mal Waldron? Mal Waldron had a special relationship with Billie Holiday. He was her piano player for a good period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I know.
Yep.
And I forget which record it is that he recorded. Sam Records put out a record of his. I don't know if that was the one he recorded and then died. Not long after that.
Nobody died younger than rock artists other than jazz artists. I think that life expectancy for a jazz musician is lower.
Plenty of people die younger. And you know what? They die older too.
Well, some of them, but
I mean,
I know I have one of those coffee table jazz books, which just, a little like page biography of different ones. And when you thumb through that, it's just amazing how many jazz artists died in their 20s and 30s. Just huge number.
They chose a life. They were given drugs. They became addicted. They smoked a lot. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy how but it's the same. Plenty of, across all music genres, I believe. People get caught up in a certain lifestyle that you cannot sustain being on this planet. There was just
the road is hard.
Well, you had Ace Frehley, but I mean, relatively, he was, I think, 75. But I don't know if he took the best care of himself. And then there was the bass player from Limp Bizkit, but he seemed kind of young. to pass away, and I don't know how he passed away. But
Right.
people from all types of life was, had that. Hey, have you ever heard the saying, Elliot, that you go shopping through your own record collection? Like you should just go shopping through your own collection. Well, I picked up the Beatles and Mono box, and I also have that Revolver box that came out with, so I could get Revolver and Mono. So now I had 2 copies of it, and I have a third. So I found that this is an early 80s pressing of the Beatles and Mono UK pressing. This, and I did not pay anywhere near for it. This thing goes for over $100. So I'm getting rid of this because I have too many Beatles Revolver Monos. I'm probably get rid of that Beatles box, the Revolver box too. I know it has a book and stuff, but
How often are we going to read the books? We were talking a few weeks ago, Rob. We were talking about the Warren Zevon box, Record Store Day box set, piano.
Yes.
Piano Slinger. Is that what it's called? Piano
my
Fighter.
buddy's putting out a Warren Zevon record for Record Store Day. A live.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's something new coming out on.
Yeah, it's a 2L.
It's 2LP.
I have some of the Record Store Day records I can't show yet, but I should be getting a copy of that, and I'll show all of them when I'm allowed to show them.
Well, the Piano Fighter box is 3 albums, one of which is a double album. The Giant Years, his latter day recordings, and we talked about the price. I think it was about $85 at Record Store Day, and then it went up on Discogs, but then it went back down, and it was at basically the same retail price, as I'm assuming a lot of these record stores are sitting on copies that they hadn't been able to sell. They pretty much sold what it's going to sell, but it made a drastic drop in price just a week or so ago. There are some sellers trying to sell that box set now, sealed box set, for $29 and $36, $34. I ordered one. I already have it, but somebody wanted $28 for it, and with tax and shipping, it was $37. So I ordered it. Now I hadn't gotten it yet, but I said, I'll order it and I'll sit on it for a year or two, and then I'll sell it at a record show.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the type of thing to sit on.
Well, it's worth $75. Put it that way. It's worth $60. I've got $37 and some cents invested in it.
So you haven't even. Are you even a fan of Warren Zevon?
Oh yeah, I'm a big Warren Zevon fan. I got a box set when it came out originally, and so that's what I'm playing. When I play his stuff. Yeah, I'm a big Warren Zevon fan. I think he's one of our greatest songwriters in that period. Yeah,
but he did say that, like when Letterman interviewed him, he was a big fan of his.
Yeah.
But I would say enjoy every sandwich.
Yeah, but if anybody likes Warren Zevon and doesn't have those last 3 albums he did on Giant, you can go on Discogs and you can get it for $40 or so. Now, I think one reason the price suddenly dropped from about $85, there might be an outlier of 75 or so, is because they did announce that they're going to start issuing individually those 3 albums.
I don't know if that was the reason. I think maybe they overestimated.
Yeah.
How much
yeah,
was it originally going for?
I think on Record Store Day it was $85. I bought it a week or two after and paid about $100 for mine. I bought it off eBay. I never buy records off eBay, but I got it off eBay for about $100.
The one my buddy's putting out is a live album. I think the last show he did or last tour he did might have been the last show. It's a 2 LP thing coming out for Record Store Day.
Is it the one called Your Ride Is Here?
It's the only Warren Zevon. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's the only.
I think it's called Your Ride Is Here or something like that. My ride is here. If we're talking about the same one.
Well, it's the only one coming out, Elliot.
Well, they're actually
there's no other Warren Zevon record coming out on Record Store Day, right?
Music Matters is putting some out from Zevon as well.
Music, not what Music Matters.
I'm not sure exactly which album they're putting out. They're doing a reissue of Excitable Boy too, a repressing of Excitable Boy, a remaster probably. I don't know.
Not for Record Store Day, right?
I think they're just a AAA pressing of Excitable Boy, I believe, but not Record Store Day. I don't think. I'm not sure.
If anyone's interested in coming up, message me. I'll send you an invitation to join. But let me pull this up here, Elliot, so we can find it. There we go. Let's see. I tried. The stupid thing gives you a way to search, but when you type in what you want to search for, it kind of doesn't help.
It never works.
I'm going to go to the last one here and see. There it is. So this is the album he's putting out. It's Warren Zevon live at Edmonton Folk Festival.
Okay, yeah.
And this was his final concert in 2002.
Right. I wonder what suggested retail is going to be on that.
I'm going to guess $40 or less. They're only doing $2,200, but I think this will do well for them. So
yeah,
that's
Who's
the one.
That
Omnivore, my buddy's label.
Omnivore. There's another one coming out, not Record Store Day, but another one coming out, and it's something along the lines of My Ride Is Here or something is the name of the album. And like I say, Excitable Boy, AAA is going to come out. So I guess there's a little excitement about Zevon. He was an excitable boy.
Well, you better hurry and get your requests in, Scotty, because slots are getting filled for Thursday's show. About all the people that want to come up. Just ask on Thursday. Why are you gathering all your material on why Lester Young was called Mustang? Because I expect you to do a whole video on that.
Or we need someone to do a dissertation about the different styles of Lester Young and Coleman Hawkins or something like that. How'd your sale go Saturday, Rob? I wasn't around for it.
Hold on, give me a second. I just want to clarify some stuff. All right, Bull Moose is, I guess, selling the Warren Zevon record, or box. What has Wax been ignoring you guys for over an hour? Who am I ignoring? Okay, my auction. So I've been experimenting with different start times. And initially, I would do it like at 1 o'clock on Saturdays, my time.
Yeah.
Then I thought I did it a couple times at 5 o'clock my time, 8 Pacific Eastern, and that went okay. Right. But I decided to try because not everyone's happy. Either people I do it early, say they're busy during the day and they like it at night, and blah blah. So I said, well, let's give them the best of both worlds. I'll go on at 3 because I'll get early people who would there anyway, and then it went into past 5 my time, and I think it did really well. So I have to think about, it's maybe I'll try and filter to more people. If I get messages from people saying they missed it and stuff, but I think the 3:00 time seemed pretty good.
Well,
But
I was tied up, so I didn't get a chance to watch.
Yeah,
and I figure I saved them.
There was a lot going on Saturday for people. So.
Well, I figure I saved at least $100 by not watching. So.
Not watching. Well, I mean, here's the thing about auctions, and I do sell records, right? And whatever people's opinions of me doing that are, it's more their problem, not my problem. Because here's one thing they never talk about. About 25 people regularly participate and get records in the auction, right?
Right.
But many more than that watch it. So I don't understand the people that feel that it's some sort of grift or weird thing that they haven't. How do they speak for the twice or three times the amount of people that just watch, that they get some sort of entertainment out of watching it? That's what's funny to me. So that's
people. Rob, people just like to complain.
No, well, I understand. That's all I'm saying. I'm addressing the weirdness of. There's a difference between me saying, Elliot, I really don't like that shirt, and giving you shit about the shirt, and then ending it, where we don't talk about it anymore because of being stupid, and then people continuing this rant like it's a thing, because it's not even a thing. So that's all. I do it. There's some showmanship into what I do, right? So, and I like bashing people like this.
Yeah.
But here's what's funny. You don't buy jazz records from me or win them. You win the other stuff. I realize there's several people that don't live near record stores, and it's a great option for them to pick up stuff that looks good or they want. So that's cool for me, because my favorite thing in this hobby is going out looking for records. I go out with a blank slate with no intention of finding what I find, and the excitement is finding these records. I take them home and clean them and listen to them, at least listen to them once, see if I like it or want to keep it or whatever. And that's another aspect to find. I like cleaning the records and grading them and finding out what type they are. I picked this up. Here, Elliot, do you think in a million years I would have picked up this record? Do you know this record, Elliot?
I know the band. I know who they are, but I've never really listened to them. Yes, the punk band, isn't it?
Yes. And this particular one, I think Henry Rollins is doing a lot of dramatic readings too, spoken word stuff. But this is
that's right. Henry Rollins is there. Yeah, the singer. Okay.
Like if anyone put that in your pile. All right, you punk people out there. So this particular pressing is the one with the lighter color green label. So is this the first pressing or is the darker green one? I know they came out the same year. So I'm going to clean and sell this. That's what's going to happen with this record. So, Chris, you can reach out to
a lot of records
and say you want to grab that record. Let me know.
I get a lot of records with the idea that, okay, I'll get this record. I can get it for a real reasonable price. And I know once I clean that record, put it in a new inner and outer sleeve, fix any problems the jacket might have, play grade it, determine, that it's a good quality record. I can turn around and sell it for a little bit more than I paid for it. And it's a fun part of the hobby. That's just all there is to it. It's not like anybody. I mean, I'd love to make, thousands of dollars a year selling records, but I know I'm not going to make thousands of dollars a year, but it's something that I enjoy doing.
I'll tell you,
buying the record that I'm not going to keep is a way to pay for the record that I am going to keep.
look, I try and take off the price stickers and all that stuff. I try and make the record as best as it can when I put it out to auction or sell or whatever. I've been putting a lot of my high end, my expensive records on eBay, and I've been doing pretty well with selling records. These are records that go for way over $100. But I put a few of them in. If I find them cheap enough, I put them in the auction. You know, there was a bunch of really good. I put like Mingus plays piano. I found an OG stereo of that. That goes for a good bit of money. So you bought a collection, Patrick, that has tape all over it. That I found like a lot of kick-ass records that someone decided to be a goofy ass and write as big as they could their name all over every part of the record. Like, who you hanging around that's stealing your records?
This Lester Young that I got, somebody wrote, now the record came out in the 80s. Somebody wrote taped 1180. Now, I don't know why they felt the need to do that, other than maybe they were recording all their records so they would play the cassette of the record rather than the vinyl each time once they had, to preserve the vinyl. But I don't think that really takes anything from it. For one thing, it tells me, and when I played it, it plays with not any issues at all. For what that tells me is this guy, when he bought this record, he probably played it one time, put it on a tape, and never played it again. So sometimes all that writing can tell you something.
Well, it just tells me they're a crazy person. Hey, Eddie.
Yeah.
The most I think I've sold a record for is $900. $900. Last week I sold a record.
At a record fair, he said, right?
I sold a record last week on eBay, I think, for $140. So
I think the most I've ever sold at a record fair, I sold Beach Boys Pet Sounds for a mono original pressing, but it was in bad shape. I sold it for $55. I've sold records for $40 or $50. I don't know if I've ever sold anything that was $100 or more. I traded one that I had marked for $100. I traded it for like 6 or 7 other records, and I think we probably both came out good on that.
Hey, Dan B, question for you. Do you have a sticker on you that's like a sell-by date? It's a question. You can answer it if you'd like. Well, I can tell you like this I picked up again. Here's the cool thing about just looking and the way my brain works. This looked interesting to me. Pick this up for way low, and I'm going to try and sell it for like $270. That's what this record goes. There's only 2 listed online, I think. One, the black vinyl version, someone's trying to get $450 for this. So I plan on getting that much for that record. It's a desirable thing, and hey, I'm a money grubbing bastard. So that's all I can say about how I treat life. There's a sucker born every minute, right, Elliot? Yes, Roberto. It's amazing to me that you could be in where you're living right now, and you can walk into a store and find a record just like that they didn't value correctly, and then buy it and then sell it for more money.
Rob, I don't want to interrupt, but I'm losing you. We're spinning and spinning. My connection is totally shot, it appears. So I'm going to go on off. But,
yeah, go fire up.
But I enjoyed the visit.
Yeah, there he goes. Elliot's gone. and left it to me. Let me remove him to just talk already. So I think I'll spend the remainder of the time. Who's rest in peace, Herc? Who? I don't know who you're talking about, man. Again, anyone's welcome to come up and talk to me since it's just me by myself. No, Elliot's not my wingman. Elliot was free today. He wanted to show some records he picked up. He does that occasionally. But his internet's not the best. Why are we discussing James Brown? I don't know. What do you watch sometimes in Can't Buy Europe? Let's talk. No, they've taken a dump. They need to move on from that coach. I think he's a good coach. He's been there long enough, but he should have won the 3 games he lost. That's a coaching problem to me. They have the players. They need to move on. Technically, James Franklin, who got fired from Penn State, before he went to Penn State, he was assistant to Ralph Friedgen, who was probably the last best coach the Terrapins had. He was in line to get the job, and they looked over him, and he left. That was stupid, but whatever. Hopefully, I root for Virginia Tech because I didn't have football in my college. I did go to Maryland to get another degree, but I root for Virginia Tech. That's where my siblings went. I hope they get a good coach because that fan base deserves a good coach. Yes, I'm rooting for the Blue Jays. I would love Canada to win the World Series. All right, so the albums I just showed, I mean, they're good for different reasons, Bill K. I'm not saying which is my favorite. They're all different. That's what's great about having a record collection. If I was forced to pick my favorite records, it'd be hard. To me, it's boring. It's a boring thing. Well, the reason all those teams joined the Big Ten? Because to get money. When they added Maryland and Rutgers, they got those two big TV, the DC and New York TV market. But now they're going to have venture capital come in as an investor for the Big Ten. Now they have West Coast teams. It's a big money-making enterprise. I don't live in a house. No house for me. I will say the Mariners kind of shit the bed, though. Sorry, Kimbo. They should have ran away with that series. But good news for Major League Baseball. They'll have East Coast, West Coast teams. They have Canada, a whole country, supporting that team. Okay, I understand, but the players benefit with all that money now. And I understand you can quickly put a team together there you go. Man, you're good at being banned, aren't you? Arnie Zanzibar, everyone. Still a shithead, even after he's been banned with 5,000 accounts. Or it's the pull-down artist, or it's Billiam or whoever. But, I mean, it's how you choose to be a fan. I think it's changed the way I'm a fan. Like my team, my college basketball team, the coaches always leave. But still that program produces good teams every year because the Yeah, sports is awesome because the athletic director, who has had better job offers and just wants to stay, does a good job of picking coaches. And now we got a coach and we have nil money at our school, and he's put together a team that they're projecting will win the A10 this season. So we'll see what happens. It could always go south. Injuries suck. Okay. Sorry to hear that. But when you do go to a sport, okay, here's a good one for you, Rex. When you go to a sport athletic event, sports, they play music there, right? Lots of music. When you go to a concert, does sports break out? No. So there you go. Well, about what? Herc, go somewhere else. We have 3 other people who make the same kind of comments you did all the time. Like, I confuse you with Ricks. So you're like a 2nd grade Ricks, Herc. You know that? Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cool dude. Go there. Go search for her right now. I don't think he feels the same way. All right. Congratulations. Maybe you and Herc can start a live stream called Herc and Ricks. Has a good ring to it. And people could be more bored senseless than they are here. This is the section where I'm going to waste 15 minutes insulting everyone in the peanut gallery. Yes, it is, Roberto. Say something stupid so I can respond to it. Look, I'm a multifaceted guy. I love sports. I don't talk about it all the time, too, because I find that tiresome. Like, name your 5 best athletes and players or whatever. I think that's stupid. I hate that talk. All right. You are kind of the same. Listen, can people tell me that how is Ricks and Herc different from one another? How many people out there are like me where you think they're almost the same person? See, like if Yvonne, there's no one like Yvonne. He's his own person. There's a few people around like Dan B who, like Chuck T and Dan B, are very similar, I think. Well, here's in lies the problem with being a sports fan. I wasn't alive when Babe Ruth was a big player. Believe it or not, I was not alive. I could only go by maybe what I've saw and what people talk about. So Atani is pretty awesome. Is he the best player I've ever seen play in my lifetime? I mean, I thought I was lucky enough to grow up in the DC area where all we had were the Orioles. They were my team growing up, and I got to watch Cal Ripken play. So I'm going to go with Cal Ripken. Atani is probably a better athlete than Cal Ripken, can do a lot more, but he hasn't been pitching a lot lately, right? Because it is crazy. He's mostly hitting now, right? Am I wrong about that? I'm not a big, I really don't follow the Dodgers much. Well, he hasn't played as long as Babe Ruth played, right? And he wasn't a big lard ass doing all that stuff. He's like in good athletic shape, but he's an idiot, right? Didn't that guy steal all his money from him? Rob, if you should rank sport, what is your favorite? Quidditch. Okay. Yeah, I think here's one thing I like about popular athletes. They have like a good personality, like a public personality. Um, I know his first language is not English. I don't even know if he knows any English. But there have been other Japanese uh, people in the athletes in the NHL in Major League Baseball who've had a great personality. Were very good at being public. What's his face? Ishiro. That dude's funny. So, in that regard, to me, he's not like I'll tell you the best personality athlete I grew up watching was John Riggins when he played the Redskins. That dude was a good personality. Still to this day, he's an outspoken dude. So that to me, there you go. Atani's people knocked me off the internet. It was Atani did it. He knocked me off. Yes, it's all Atani's fault. Dude, I'll tell you what my biggest enemy is. It's the side clicker on this mouse. My finger hit it. My hands are ready to, because I'm clicking all your stupid ass comments. Yeah, I don't know. Look, here's how I view doing these live streams. It's a great distraction from the shittiness that is out there in our lives. Come here and have a nice break for 2 hours from nonsense. That my politics is not something that is unknown to people. I believe everyone should be able to do whatever the hell they want to do, regardless of how they view the life. But if I believe I've given that to you, you should give that to me. Yeah, that's my feeling. And if you're stupid, I'll call you out for being stupid. So there you go. It's a shit show out there. You look, 128 of you obviously agree watching me yammer on like an idiot is more enjoyable than dealing with the nonsense out in real life because it sucks. Thank you, George. You're a reasonable guy who probably most likely doesn't believe anything I believe, but you're waxed first. Thank you. I'm trying to click on Herc. Yeah, I've been doing this for quite a while, Herc, or Ricks, whoever you are. Yeah, no one's paying for this. Here's one thing I don't do. I don't initially when I do this live, I don't monetize it. You can come in here and no commercials. After it's over, I monetize it. But after that, I don't know that phrase. Excuse my Dutch. What does that mean? Is that like some sort of European hipster way of saying excuse me, I have to leave? I can bring him up. I'll ask him if he wants to come on. He's not like a big camera guy. George, calm down. That's silly. I grew up watching Earl Weaver live and going to games and him fighting with the refs. That was always why you were there. That was showmanship, I think. I've kind of stepped back because my main reason for wanting to go is to buy records. If I'm going to be charged fees for bringing them back to the U.S., then I know the prices have gone up there. Maybe eventually I'll find myself there, but now it's lost its luster based on talking to people who have gone recently. I don't remember him smoking. I don't remember him smoking at all. Listen, can you guys stop talking in your secret twin language to each other? Thank you. That dude drank. He slurred his speech. Yes, stop talking in your twin language to each other. Matthew, you can get good food all over LA, all different kinds of food. But yes, you can get good sushi here. But all types of food. The fact that you say this makes me want to throw up in my mouth a little bit. Rix, you do have the opportunity to distance yourself from Herc. Or you might be Siamese twins. Then, in that regard, you can't get the surgery because of vital organs connected. Thank you. Nothing. I don't leave records on my turntable. And it's probably something you don't like. What are you done with this stream? Oh, man. There you go. Let's see how many accounts you can get banned today. I don't know what that means. No, well, I'm not going to that YouTube link you left. What are you talking about? Okay. When you mention twins, it reminds me of an awesome holiday display this guy did every year for a while. All right, now you're just muttering nonsense. Listen, everyone does have that house in their neighborhood who way overdoes it. And then their neighbors complain. Okay. Let's see what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. What's up? What's up, Jeff Myers? Herc, calm down now. You're getting a little crazy with your comments. We have 1 minute to fill. Can someone say something hugely stupid in the last minute so I can address it? Dan B, I have a feeling you give kids pennies for all your... You're the penny guy. Oh, Joel, I don't know what you've left out something in your comment. And oh God. I'm just gonna assume that's the way you feel. I don't judge this as stupid. It's just sad. More sad. The worst, I think we all can agree, the worst fans on the face of the planet, if not the US, are Eagles fans. They're horrible. As a group, they're horrible. I don't know Santa Monica up close. I don't know that channel. No, Eagles fan. The problem with Raiders fans is they've been divided up through 3 different cities. Eagles fans are generally the worst fans. This is the one Chad gave me for free. Chad put it out for that Bertha Blue record he put out. I'm not going to stand up and model it. Okay. See the yutteringness of nonsenseness. All right, I'm gonna root for the Jays because I want Canada to win because I would like to see one person's reaction to that. Dodgers will probably win though. If I had to put money down, it would be on the Dodgers, and you can't probably. There's probably not money to be made there. Well, that seems to be a problem. I wear shorts, so there you go, in your face. All right, everyone. I think I did it. I got through a whole show, and I appreciate. Here's okay. I'll leave it on this. That album, Chad didn't release it first. Do you know this? Wicked Exile. I forget the exact name, but it came out in Japan in the 80s. Called Miles 1958 or something like that. And it's the same exact record with one extra song. So I have a copy of that. But I did go to an event where I met Chad and he played that record and it blew my mind. So I still might get his version of it because it sounds incredible. But it originally came out in the 80s in Japan. Thank you. All right. You need an ash trimmer, man. Yeah, everyone have a nice week. Let's end the stream with Revs giving us a good message. Everyone come back Thursday, okay? Have a good day. All right? Take care.